Okay. Okay. So followed by the planning. So develop a project management plan and other planning documents provide the basic or requiring the resource needed to achieve a solutions. After that, you need to have requirements analysis. So what is the requirement? You need to do analysis first. Okay, analyze user needs. So the idea is from the sponsor. So of course, sponsor is making that software for the user. So what is the user need?
Bro,
Okay, user requirements. Can you hear me? What? Anyone saying anything just now?
here.
Can you turn off the mic first so it won't suddenly appear any sound? Everyone, can you mute your mic? Okay. So, okay, you need to do the analysis and create a detailed functional requirements document. Maybe you can go for questionnaire. You ask the questionnaire. A lot of people will ask you to fill out the questionnaire and so on. So this one is for the analysis. So after you know the requirements from the user, okay, then you can do the design. This is step number 5. Okay, transform detailed requirements into complete detailed system design documents. Focus on how to deliver the requirement functionality. So you will start to design it. Okay. And then number 6 is development. Convert a design into complete information system includes acquiring, installing system environment, create and testing database, prepare test case, okay, prepare test files, coding, compile, refining, program, performing test readiness, review, and procurement process. Okay. So this is the planning lah on how you do it. Okay, and then this is the development, how you do the coding and so on. So integrate. So this is step number 2, integrations and tests. So after you do the program, so you need to do the integration and test, the testing. Okay. Sorry. Anyone? Why? Farahin, you want to say anything? I mute you. Okay. So, okay, you need to have the integration and test demonstrate the development system confront to requirements, okay, specified in the functional requirements document conducted by quality assurance staff and user procedures test analysis report. Why it's going? Okay, and then we go to implementation. Once you pass through the test, then you will have the implementation. Include implementation, preparing implementation of the system into a productions, environments, and resolution problems. Identify in the integration and test phase. Okay. So from the test, you will have the resolutions of problems that facing during that stage, and then you already solve it. So you provide the implementations. Okay. So during the implementation, you will have the operations and maintenance. Step 5, step 9, describe tasks to operate and maintain information. Okay. In a production environment includes the post-implementation, and in process review. Okay. So after that, maybe the software you no longer needed after the certain time. So describe the disposition. Describe the end of a system activity. Okay. Phases is given to the proper preparation of data. So this is the software development life cycle. So how you start from the idea to the deposition. Okay. So you from idea from lastly, no more finish. So we go to product development life cycle. So product development life cycle, you have initiation, and then you go to design. It's similar, and then you go for analysis. After analysis, you develop. Okay, design is like you plan what to do, and then you analyze what you have to do, and then you develop. Once you get all the data, after you develop, it's been developed, so you need to test either it is work or not. Okay, so from the testing, after complete the testing, you resolve all the problems, you go for implementation. After your implementation, okay, you can have post-implementation. Okay, means either you decompose or either you repair and then you start again for a new software. This is the product development life cycle. Okay, so when you do the design, okay, you need to have development of algorithm. Computer, what is going there? Computer algorithm is, okay, computer algorithm is an order sequence of instruction for solving problems. So basic technique to use to get the job done. So for example, the taxi algorithm, this is just sample. When you want to take taxi, okay, go to the taxi stand, get in a taxi, give the driver my address. So how you going to call get the taxi? Okay, like let's say you go to the ATM. Normally, this is the most I like to give example. You go to ATM, you want to withdraw money. So first you need to go to the ATM. So ATM, it will ask you to select language. After you select language, it will display what you want to do, withdraw, showing balance, and so on. So you select withdraw balance. So it will ask you how much amount you want to withdraw. And then you key in. After you key in, it will process your request. So after they process your request, they will ask you, do you want the receipt? And if you say no, they will return your card and then they will quit it. So this is like the algorithm, like step by step from the start to the end, how a job being get done. Okay, so this is called algorithm. Why this? Okay, so types of algorithm in computer programming. So here we're learning two types, okay? So number one is pseudocode. Number two is flowchart. These both you need to know. So pseudocode is an artificial and informal language. Informal, not formal. Like just now, you want to, for example, like you want to go for the ATM, I said. You know, you say, I will have to open the door, scan the my Sejahtera, go inside and queue, and then go to the ATM, use my hand to press the button, and then appear this and that. No, it is just an informal language. So first, go to ATM. Second, withdraw money. Second, select language. Third, select functions to withdraw. And then fourth, key in the balance, key in the amount. Number five, take the money and leave. So this is what we call informal language. You don't need to really like write a full sentence. Just a short English language, and then to write down the step is okay. Okay, but then flowchart, okay, is a diagrammatic representation of an algorithm. So it is similar to pseudocode, but then it will have shapes in diagrammatic. So each shapes represent different meanings. And it is even shorter. You use shape to represent what is this step, what is that step. Okay, so for pseudocode, this is example of pseudocode, the features. So we go for the features. So pseudocode is not computer programming language. What you type in the Python, like even just now you type the program, it's not pseudocode. Okay, pseudocode cannot understand by the computer. You just jot down, this is jot down. Jot down the ideas using human readable language. No worries of syntax error. When you write this, you don't need to care about syntax error or not. You don't need to put any programming language. No worries, Okay, so not standardized. Every program has its own versions. So your on pseudocode for a program, there's no standard. Means you can create it, but it must be correct lah. So when you say A followed by B followed by C, so when your pseudocode also must be A followed by B followed by C. It cannot be like A after B, C after B. So you need to follow it. Okay. So what you write, the pseudocode, it will be transformed in the program in the coding lah. Not you do the coding first, then you do the pseudocode. Pseudocode and flowchart is the planning process, is the design stage. So now because what we have practiced before are all for the very easy program, so you can directly do. But when you want to do a complicated one, like there are many selections, and then you can return to the main page, and then it's very complicated one, like it will take you 3, 4, 5 pages, okay, of pseudocode or flowchart. Then that one you need to have planning first. You cannot straight away do the codings because it will be a mess. So you need to do a proper planning by using pseudocode first. That's why you need to jot down the ideas. Okay, using the human readable language. Of course, we are human, then we need to understand lah. Okay, so for example, calculate the sum average for 10 number. Okay, this is one you haven't learned yet. This is using the loop lah. So begin. You also can write start. It's same meaning with start. Okay, start. Initialize counter to 0. So this is you not learn. Initialize accumulator to 0. It means it start default with 0, and then you will have a loop. Okay, read input from the keyboard. Okay, accumulate input, increment counters. So while the counter is less than 10, the counter will start from 0 to 10 lah. So once 10, calculate average, print sum and average. So because from 1 to 10, so once it's less than 10, so it will sum it. Because it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until 9, 10 numbers. Number 10 is already 11 numbers. Don't worry, this one you are not learning now. You're going for the simple one first. Because looping is for the chapter 6. You are not at chapter 2. Okay? So pseudocode. So for example, now you want to multiply two numbers. We want to prepare algorithm for applying two numbers. We know two numbers. Let's say A times B equal to C. Okay? You want to get the value of C. You want to do this. So you write it into the pseudocode, the language of pseudocode. So whatever pseudocode and flowchart, you must have start. You must have start and end. These two must have. Okay, anything you will have start and end, you need to mention. You don't simply directly go to get A and get B. These both are input, right? Okay, so this is start and then get A, get B. You can also write get A, B in one step. But then if you write like this, means that you straight away ask user to key in two values. It's different from get A and B. When you put get A and B means get A, keep the input, and then ask user to key in the input of B, and then you keep the input. Like the coding you ask the first number, second number, okay? It's different. Okay? This and this is different, okay? So these are this get A and B and this is different. So calculate result. C is equal to A times B. You better write C is equal to A times B instead of A times B equal to C. Because in programming language, even though here is don't care the syntax error, but you write something is easier for you to transform into programming language is okay. Because in programming language, you cannot write like this. The one that you want to find, the C must be at the front, must be at the left, and then you assign to C equal to A times B. You cannot put this. If you put this in the coding, it will going to give you error. Okay, so once you calculate the C, then you display the C, and then N, finish. So execution sequence for it will start from 1 to the 6, same as the program. Program will start from top to the bottom. You cannot jump. Okay, must follow the sequence. So that one is pseudocode, pseudocode. Okay. So now we explain the flowchart. Everyone okay? So flowchart. Okay. Flowchart, you will have symbols. You will draw it. So this is the symbols you are going to use. Okay. So flow line means from one shape to one shape. From start to the end, you need to connect by flow line. Okay, so this is the flow line. And then it will come up with an error. This is like this. And if you want to make comments is like this. Let's say you have something. You will have example later. This is comments. Okay, and terminal. For the start and stop in the flowchart, you will have the terminal button. This one I like to call it Panadol lah. I personally use to represent the start and end of flowchart. Okay, so input or output. This one is the parallelogram. I now already can speak this. I was having problem with it for a few semesters. Okay, So for input and output, like just now the gate A and gate B is input and output. For getting the input or output, you will use this one, parallelogram. And process is this. Okay? Process. C equal to A times B. You need to use this. This is like the computer doing the process. You are not asking the user to key in the input. You are not asking user, you are not displaying output. It's the process. Okay? And then decisions. Decision involve selections. Selections mean the computer can select like, okay, do you want to calculate area or perimeter? Which one? So you have to select, okay? Calculate area, that is option 1. Calculate perimeter is option 2. That one selections, you are going deeper in the chapter 6, which is the control structure of selections. Okay, on-page connector means what? Means that when you draw the flowchart and then one page finish, okay, make sure you draw one side finish and then you want to continue at the beside. So you need to have the on-page connector. This one you will see the example like okay, not at here, but this is a connector. You remember the shape first. And off-page connector is used to connect the flowchart portion to another page, next page. This one is same page. This one is next page. So when you connect, you will need to write one, and then the place you connect also write one. Okay, I will show you the example, but not here. Predefined process. So this one actually is the sub functions. So actually is, this is okay. Inside the box, you have a box again. This is a predefined process. It will call it to the sub functions. Okay, so this is example. Okay, example of a program, like for the multiplication. So you have a start and then read AB, calculate result C equal to A times B, display the result C and stop. So what I want you to do now is, okay, you can see that this is the start with the terminal shape and then this is parallelogram. This is the process. This is the output. And this is the stop terminal. Shape all correct, and then flowchart, a flow line, okay, from top to the bottom. Okay. So what you have to do now is, this one I stop it first. Just now you already typed. Wait, let me go to this first. You already typed this one, right? So you're making the program for enter one number, okay, first number and second number. Sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. So I want you to now, by yourself, you draw the flowchart for this, following the format of this. So now you have to do is sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. You follow this shape. You draw your own flowchart. Once you're done, you raise up your hands. So I might ask you to turn on your webcam and show me. Okay, so everyone put down your hand first. Press the rise button. Okay, so if you can do it in the computer, you do. If not, you do it on a paper. So later I will pick anyone to either ask you to show me, represent by using slide, or either you on your webcam, I want to see it. Is it okay? I give you 5 minutes for practice this. Hello. You guys still with me?
Okay, doktor.
Buat sekarang even though I cannot see you kalau dalam makma saya dah suruh buat depan mata saya. Or you can turn on your webcam now, let me see you doing. Don't be shy, don't be shy. Turn on your webcam now lah. I'm missing you guys what. Buat flowchart ini kalau dah siap, tunjuk you punya kertas and then raise your hand. Okay. Today is very easy, only flowchart only, and this is a compulsory in the test for test 2. And yeah, do it now. Okay? You draw it later, I will draw it here. Let me go to get a drink. Let your friends see you also. Don't be shy. You are staying home. Some of you are in a hostel, is it? Tak boleh pergi kelas kan? Tak boleh nak bergosip dengan kawan kan?
Doktor, buat dalam paper?
Dalam paper boleh. Nanti kalau I suruh you tunjuk paper, I akan suruh you tunjuk lah. I will discuss with you later on this issue, this thing.
Okay.
Also today you will have an assignment. Easy lah, easy. Let me go to toilet for 5 minutes. I give you time. What time now? Now it's 2:40. I'll give you 5 minutes. 2:45. Then you need to finish it. Once you complete, you just raise up your hand. Okay, I'm back. Let me pick. Amila, can you show me, Amila, webcam? Your paper when you're done. Okay, you try. Okay, I see. I see already. Okay. So, Aina. Okay. Aina pula. Amila, I dah nampak Aina. I will randomly pick. Aina, have you done? Not yet. Ini siapa lagi nama? Michelle? Michelle, can you show me your webcam? Okay, I saw you write something. It's okay, later I will write it in the screen. Go, you done, go?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, you always on your webcam, it's okay. I need to see someone else. Yang lain belum yang belum raise up hand ni. Okay, while you're doing it, I can start it. Okay, it's easy. So you can start with a start button. Okay, it's running, wait. Okay, you can start from a start button, Sam. Okay, it's start. Okay, and then now, because you are asking the user number 1 and number 2 separately, right? You ask number 1, then you ask number 2, right? So you can actually write combine together, or either you can read get. Wait. Cannot move. Okay, you can write get number 1. You can put also read 1. No syntax errors, nothing wrong. As long as I understand you want to get input from the user. You buat read A ke, read number 1 ke, get number 1 ke, input number 1 also can. As long as I understand. Tak ada specific format yang katakan ini salah mesti terletak get input ke. Tak ada. As long as I understand lah. Okay, and then get number 2. You can put it in one parallelogram, or either you can separate to start, and then first get number 1, and then get number 2. Okay, and then go to calculate. Okay, sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. So this is process. So it is rectangular shape. It is not parallelogram. Okay, so after calculate, you will display. Okay, so you can write display sum. After that, finish. Okay, you can put end, or either you can put stop. Both same meaning. Okay, so this is what we call sequential. Like this, step by step is sequential control structure. The most basic one, we have 3 control structure, which is the sequential, selections, and repetitions. So for now, the basic one is the sequential. Sequential means step by step A, B, C, D, E. There's nothing about the selection like. If you have selection means like this. No, we only step by step one now until this week. Okay, can I go to the next slide? Is it okay? You will have more practice. Okay, so mana dia pergi? Okay, example of flowchart for adding 2 numbers. So tadi you dah buat kan? So add 2 numbers by entered by user. So start. Declare variables number 1, number 2, number 3. Ini ada tak apa? Tak ada pun tak apa. Previously, if you use C++, you need to declare. Kalau siapa yang tahu pakai C++. Okay, so ini kalau tak ada pun tak apa. Previously, we need to declare, now no need. So read number 1 and number 2. Okay, and then sum equal to A plus B. and then display sum. Okay, and then stop. So basically what you do, semua dapat macam ni tak tadi? Macam ni kan? Yang macam I explain kan? Have you catch it like this?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the most easy one. So your life will not be so easy. The test will not be so easy. Okay. And then your project will not be even so easy. So this is example, find all the roots for a quadratic equation ax plus bx plus c. So again, this declare ABC, no need. Calculate, okay, this thing. And then if d is greater than 0, then you go to this. If d is not equal to 0, then you go to this. This is like you have selections like first situation or second situations. And then after you go to this, then you will go to this. You will not go to this. If false, you go to this process. And then it will display R1 and R2 and then stop. So this is example of selections. Control structure provide alternate to sequential programs execute and are used to alternate the sequential flow of executions. So most common control structures are selections where I mentioned it got. This is when you have true false, when only two options. We can have two options or multiple option. Like you have option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Many options. Okay. So if 2 is like this, if 3 or more, it will like this. So it will go to true, false. Then you will go to true, false. Then you will go for more. Okay. True and false. So if more multiple choice, you will go to something like this. Then you will go to another process. Okay, then it will show you the output. Then you will connect. This is something like this. If you have multiple. Okay, but if you have repetition, this is repetition. Means you have looping. Okay, selection, it will go to the next. But if you have looping, means if you want to repeat, like let's say you want to repeat, if it's fulfill this condition, if the x is greater than 0, it is true, then it will go back to this. If it's false, it will proceed, for example. So as long as the x is greater than 0, as long as the x is greater than 0, so it will keep repeat. If the program fulfill this condition, so it will go to the true. So it will keep going back. So this is what we call repetition or looping. So now you need to understand you have what is control structure, but then the details we are not going it deeply. It will be in chapter 6. Okay. So sequential, as I said, one by one, after one, after one, you have no option. So this one, maybe you want to calculate area, a parameter, IXX, IYY for a program. So after you calculate the area, then you calculate the perimeter. After you calculate the perimeter, you calculate IXX, IYY. And following. So this is sequential. Sequence. After A, B, after B, C. Okay. So sequential is a statement. Just now you already saw the flowchart of it, the format. So sequential structure, this is the first one, okay, the first one we are going to learn. A series of state or statements that are executed in the order that are written in an algorithm. So pseudocode mark the beginning and end of a block of statement. So as usual, when you write the pseudocode or even the flowchart, you must have start and the end. Okay, so the statement will follow by statement 1, 2, 3 until the end. If you have 4, then 4. If you have 5, 5, then you have 100, then it's 100. Just follow the statement. So it is all statement and then, okay, so that's why it is like this. So sequential structure, the flowchart, also as I explained, multiple statement considered as one statement. So this statement simply means command or instructions. Okay, so this is also considered as one statement. That's why just now the gate number 1 and gate number 2, you can write it in one statement. Okay, so you can write it in one statement and then you in the box, you can mention the things that you need. Okay, because it's a sequence. So what is selection structure? So this is some example. Selection allow you to choose between two or more alternatives, and this is allow you to make decision. You need to make decision. You need to make the computer to make the decision. Decision are made by the computer must be simple. Okay, since everything in the computer ultimately reduced to either true is 1, false is 0. That's why just now I write only true, false, true, false. Okay. If complex decisions are required, it is the programmer job to reduce them to a series of simple decisions that the computer can handle. You need to simplify it. The computer cannot take too complicated things. Okay, so this is the selection structure, the problems examples. For example, when are you going to use selections? Number 1, determine whether profit, return, or capital. This is like when you go through a calculations, okay, for the cost, for the profits, and then you compare, and then you make the equation and so on, and then you display to the user either is return with profit, just return capital, or either lose the money. Number 2, determine whether a number is even or odd. You know, even and odd number, this is a very popular example also. Okay. Number 3, determine whether the mark is less than 60. If less than 60, then print fail. Otherwise, you print pass. So this one also, all this you will learn the coding in the chapter 6. And determine whether the speed limit is exceed 110. If it's 110, then the fine is 300. Otherwise, fine is 0. Okay. So problem 5, determine whether the age is above 12. If the age is above 12, the ticket is 20 ringgit. Otherwise, it's 10 ringgit. This is like all being programmed. Okay. So just now done. So for repetition structure, okay, repetition for the looping. Specifies a block or one or more statements that are repeatedly executed until a condition is satisfied. As long as it's true, then it will run. Until it becomes false. Okay. So it is false, then it will stop. Usually the loop has two important parts. So first is the expression that tested for a true or false statement. Like I said, x is as long as it's greater than x, it will keep process. Okay, a statement or block that is repeated as long as the expression is true. So it will keep repeat a statement. Okay. So two styles of repetition. You have pre-test, mean you have to go through the test and then you go to the looping. Post-test is you run one time, then you will test for the loop. Okay, so just now is all the explanations. So you already typed this. Okay, so still let you refresh with the pause sign. So that one is just comment the notes for you. Okay, and print additional calculator of two input number you already typed in a computer. This is display prompt, mean you display in the program. Okay, and then number 1 equal to float input, enter first number, and number 2 equal to float input, second number. This is gathering the input. I believe you already know. I already explained last week, right? Float is for decimal point number. Input is to getting the input, and then this one is the instruction that this is string integer. Okay, this is the instruction you give the user to key in the number 1. So you assign number 1 to the user to the number that being keyed by the user, and then followed by number 2. After you get the input, okay, this is the process statement. Means that the computer do the process. That's why it is square. And these two are the parallelogram. Okay, and then print number 1. You print like this without quotation mark, means that you call the number 1. You call the number that being stored by the programming from the user key in number. And then you put the quotation mark plus, means you want to appear the output as plus. And then you call again. Remember the quotation mark and the comma is important. And then you call number 2 again. So the number from here will appear at number 2. And then equal to, okay, you put the quotation mark, means you want to display this quotation, this equation mark, this assignment mark. And then another comma, you display the sum. Sum is the result that being calculated by the user. Okay, so this is how you do a program from getting the input, process, and display the output. Okay, so exercise. So what you have to do it now, okay, is a group of programmer has been assigned to make a simple sequential program to calculate BMI index for user. List the input, process, and output. Okay, and then create flowchart pseudocode of the above situation. Write a program based on, this one is typing in, typo, based on the flowchart using C++ language. BMI equal to weight over height over 2. So what you have to do it now is, you need to do this A, B, C. Okay, for this exercise 1. Now, once you finish until you write the coding, then you show me also your flowchart pseudocode. Then I can let you quit this class. But before you will do the exercise, you can see actually got the answer already lah. But I want to I want you to do. Okay. So this is the pseudocode and flowchart for this week. What you have to do? Listen to what is my requirement. Okay. So I want you to write a program that is able to. How many you want? The shape. Wait, let me look at the senior last semester. How many they did the shape? If they can do, you can do. The tutorial. Wait a minute. Let me check. Let me see. I want to give you how many shapes. Put a rectangle, triangle, semicircle, and circle. Okay, so you need to do all by sequential statement. Okay, means what? You need to write the flowchart and pseudocode and submit next week. Okay, for this 4 shapes. Means that after you ask you tell the user this program is to calculate the rectangular shape, and then you will calculate these 3 things. After you display the result, you go to next. Calculate the rectangular for this. You display the result and then calculate semicircle, display this, and then calculate for circles, display this, and finish. Handwriting. Handwriting assignment. So this is your take-home assignment. Okay. So everyone, you do this first. This is the practice that, during this class. So once you finish this, then our class can dismiss. Now it's 3 o'clock. I think I believe everyone can do it within half an hour lah. So you can do it now. Put down your hand. Okay. Put down your hand and try to do it now. Like what you have the flowchart, the pseudocode, and the coding. Do this. Any questions? No question is good. You do it now. Later you can ask. You do it now. If possible, you turn on your webcam if your internet is okay. Okay. Who is this? Right up. Danish, you have question, Danish? Danish, where are you? Are you still here? Danish? Do it now. And if you didn't finish it, you cannot go back. I will wait for every single one of you to finish this. Let me go to the assignment and see. Do you know that next week we have no class? Johor is having holiday for the Awal Muharram. You guys know?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the tutorial due date, I'm going to put next Tuesday, but time will be midnight. So by next Tuesday, 11:59, you must submit through the Google Classroom. I already put the assignment, but it's no instruction inside because you have to upload that it by yourself. Okay. You do it now. Rectangle, no. And all the slide information I already prepared it. So if you want to go for more, I have also prepared that the video in YouTube. You can watch it. You can subscribe my YouTube channels. Inside also got a lot of things from mechanical material for other subjects that I'm teaching. Okay, I didn't get any benefit from YouTube, just to help the student only. So for the class video, teaching video also, I will upload in the YouTube, so it won't take your space. Because if you want to download, it will take you a lot of time, right? So you can just watch it in the YouTube lah. I will always upload in the YouTube. Danish, where are you? You raise up your hand and then you hilang. I assume you go to toilet So later you will come back Danish. Okay, the rest you can do it first. So if you have anything or you want to show me your result, then you can show me. The next slide actually is the answer, but please don't go for the answer first. Okay, so I will wait. I'm turning off the webcam and the mic. It doesn't mean that I'm not here with you guys. So I'm still here with you guys. Okay. I think I will stop recording here because else later it will be very heavy. We already finished everything, just a discussion for exercise 1. Okay, so I will stop recording first.